Hello my friends, my name is Tim Johnson. In this short video I'm going to talk about the difference between progress and change very quickly, and also I want to talk about something I don't talk about a lot on the channel, or haven't in the past anyway, and that's AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and how much it has helped me and why it has helped me in the past weeks. First of all, progress and change. It was something I came across talking to someone about what the difference between those two things is. And people get a bit mixed up about it. You see, and I believed as well about change, that that was the main thing. You've got to change, and there's many videos on this channel that talk about change and changing yourself for the better and becoming the best you can be, and that's great, and some of them are very relevant. However, there is a big difference between progress and change, and I think the word progress is much more useful and more helpful. See, change is happening all the time. We're changing all the time because of outside influences. As the world turns, and there's constant change wherever you look. That is the nature of existence and of life, and there's nothing we can do about it. It's beyond our control, that change, because of external influences. So sometimes it can be a bit confusing to talk about it, because sometimes it's very difficult, or in fact impossible, even if you let go of control, for those changes to happen, because they're beyond your control. However, progress is a very different thing, and a much more useful term, because I talk a lot on the channel about small goals and the importance of achieving daily small goals and taking things in small bites. Moving a mountain by taking a stone at a time is an old Chinese proverb, as I've said in the last video. And it's very relevant. And particularly if you're new to sobriety, you're newly sober, taking small bites, is extremely important. And what is important and will give you a sense of extreme gratification and hence well-being is making progress. And the way to make progress is to set those small goals for yourself. And as you eventually get stronger and better and more able, via all the ways that I mentioned on this channel, and that includes nutrition and exercise and all those things I've talked about in the past. They're all relevant, and it's all part of becoming stronger and better. But sometimes those changes aren't immediate, and people become very disheartened. But progress is a different thing altogether. If you see yourself and feel within your body and your mind and and in your relationships and those around you that you're making progress, it will not only will it release oxytocin, which is an extremely important feel-good love chemical, if you like, which comes with achieving goals. Set those small goals early, keep moving forward, and that's the important thing. But if you have to take a step back, don't beat yourself up, because it's progress, not perfection, and that's really important to understand. That sometimes things are beyond your control and bad things happen to you and those around you and within the world itself, as we've all experienced over the past 2 years. So as long as you keep making progress and keep moving forward, if you take the odd step backwards and give yourself a day off, or you have a cheat meal, or you relax, or you don't particularly make progress that day, that's all right. Just be kind to yourself, because the next day you set another small goal, you start moving forward again, and you start making progress. You start again, and you become stronger and better. So that's an important distinction to make between progress and change. The second thing I want to talk about is Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, in the past, my visit to rehab in particular, I've been involved with Alcoholics Anonymous, and I've talked about it many times on the channel, and it's always something I've felt that for a lot of people, many millions of people, it's been their saviour, and I have utmost respect for it. But I'd stepped away from it myself and never talked about it much on the channel, because I'd sort of taken my own path over the latest years of sobriety. Well, there's been hiccups within that sobriety, hasn't there, as I've documented on the channel. And this Christmas in particular was going to be a particularly tough time for me, because for the first time ever, I would be spending Christmas apart from my family due to a bureaucratic problem here in Spain with my residency, which meant I couldn't go back to England. And I knew it was going to be extremely difficult to avoid the loneliness and the stuff that would bring with it during the Christmas period in particular. And I was worried, and my family were worried about slipping backwards. So, due to a suggestion from someone who I have the utmost respect for, Gary, his name is, I went back, and he's the boss of another group, by the way, called Flinty's Recovery Gods on Tour, which I highly recommend. It's an amazing group. And the support I had from him moved me towards attending and overcoming fear, if you like. And I've never been skeptical, but just making that step and going to the meeting. Best thing I ever did. You see, I think a lot of people who don't go to AA or sort of poo-poo it as a bad idea, look at the 12 steps and they read through it, or they attend a meeting and they hear the word God being mentioned quite a lot. And certainly within the 12 steps, the word God is mentioned quite a lot. But you have to look at those words very closely, because step 2 particularly, believe that a power greater than ourselves could return us to sanity. The key words there, a power greater than ourselves. And in step 3, where it says hand our will over to God, it says as we understood him. Again, really important words. What they say in AA, they're not going to shove religion or God. If that's not your thing, or you don't believe it, you're agnostic or whatever it is, that's fine. And they have the utmost respect for that. It's not necessary to believe in a particular God or, whatever that God may be, to go into the rooms and enter an AA meeting. It's God as we understood him. And it says in the big book and everything, it could be, that could mean, as long as it's a power greater than ourselves to return us to sanity, we're handing our will over, because we are powerless. At the end of the day, when it comes to alcohol, particularly with me, alcohol and drugs and addiction, the problem isn't the alcohol or the drugs or the food or the gambling or the sex or whatever that your addiction is. The problem is you. Always stems back to you. So, I recommend that you go. You've got to see it as a power greater than yourself you're handing your will over, because there's no use. If you try to fix it yourself and you slip backwards many times, you have to hand over and realize that, you're powerless. And now that power greater than you, as I say, could be, and it says in the big book, could be the spirit of the universe. The world doesn't turn on its own, and things don't grow on their own, and life doesn't happen on its own. If we disappeared from this planet, and left it in devastation, as we are doing, obviously destroying it slowly but surely, as human beings will, the planet would still survive. That force of nature would still survive. It might take a few thousand years to recover again, but it would be thriving without us, and much better again. It's been here for billions of bloody years, without us ruining it. And we're, very arrogant to think that the world will suddenly stop because we've gone. That's far from the case. So that spirit of the universe, as I believe in the Tao Te Ching, is the Tao, which is an energy, which is a power far greater than any human being or, animal or whatever, that flows through the universe, that makes creation, that makes things happen, that makes things grow, that brings us as life into the universe. affects the tides and the light and dark and energy and God knows what else. The quantum world proves all this anyway, that physics has discovered. So that is the power greater than me that I hand my will over to, gladly, because I know it's a power greater than me. And within AA, as long as you understand that message, the rest of the steps follow on, and it doesn't have to become another addiction. Doesn't matter how many times, the more meetings, the better initially, obviously. It gives you strength. And the thing that I've found about AA that has given me more strength than anything else, there's no judgment within it, obviously, because we're all in the same boat that attend it. We've all experienced and can share our experience with each other, and we all relate to it. The thing is, it's the fellowship that gives me strength, because it's called the AA fellowship. It is that fellowship. It's like the Fellowship of the Ring. The Lord of the Rings is one of my great favourite films. It's like that. Immediately you walk into the rooms, you're made to feel totally welcome, part of that fellowship. The door's always left open on a meeting, and that's important because anyone can walk in off the street. The door is always open, and it's open for you to walk out as well. If that's if you don't relate or whatever, no one's judging you or thinking any worse of you. The friends you make within AA are friends for life. There's no doubt about that. And the support that they give you if you're struggling, is better than any professional support you'll ever get. Because we've all been there within AA. It's the best move I ever made going back. And I thank a lot of people for it. Gary for one, my oldest daughter, Samantha for another. Best thing I ever did. I would encourage you, if you're struggling, to look at a meeting finder. You'll find a meeting near you, wherever you are in the world, and go and just feel that energy and that love, and that and listen to people and listen to people share. You're not forced to share. You're not made to speak. You speak when one day you're ready to speak, and you're not judged for that either. So that's a few words that I hope are useful to you. Carpe Diem doesn't change any view on this channel or any video that I've made. It's because everything else I've said on here is all still parts of my recovery. It's just that AA has become the pillar of strength, if you like, that sits in the middle and holds me up. It's supremely important to me and will be for now in my future. I won't be stepping out of the rooms again. So much love to you all, and Carpe Diem. Seize the day. Take care. Bye.